For sure.
Thank you. And so welcome to this session. It's about how to survive winter in Canada. So whether it's your first winter here or your second or you're started studies outside and now it's like the first time you're gonna have winter here, welcome to our session. We're gonna talk about some important information, how to prepare for the winter and then some activities that you can do. And yeah, we go ahead.
I think we can introduce ourselves.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. I forgot about that.
okay, I can go ahead. So hello everyone, welcome to our session. My name is Mia, and I'm an international mentor, originally from Madagascar. I'm in my third year in sociology at the university, and I've been a mentor since January of this year for the area of sub-Saharan Africa.
Cool. So my name is Manal, and I'm an international mentor from Morocco. I'm in my fourth year in mechanical engineering and computing technology, and I've been a mentor for almost 3 years now. And yeah, I'm so excited to meet you all. And I'm responsible for the region of the Maghreb and the Middle East. All right. So I think we can go ahead to the next slide. So this is a video about like the 7-day forecast that you're gonna expect during the winter. So yeah, have fun watching it.
I'm not shoveling again. I can't go out there.
I'm not going.
Let's just call that weird kid.
I called him. The kid says he's had it.
The whole 5-day forecast is freezing.
What about day 6?
Freezing.
What about day 7? Rob, what is it?
+1.
+1.
+1. You wait so long for something like this.
At Environment Canada, you'll frequently see a +1 somewhere near the end of our 7-day forecast. We put that there to keep you from going to dark places mentally and possibly destroying property.
What are you gonna do when it's +1?
I might get the ice pick and chisel open the back gate. You?
Maybe I'll buy toothpaste and soap.
Personal hygiene. I forgot about that.
We don't know if it'll really be +1. 7-day forecasting is kind of a sham anyway. Anything past day 5 is just throwing darts. So I might as well give you all a reason to hang on.
Well, Thursday's not +1 anymore. It's -15.
What about Friday?
+1.
I'm gonna wax the car.
Environment Canada. Cloudy with a chance of making stuff up.
All right. So now we're gonna basically talk about the four seasons um, that we can find here in Canada. Okay. So the first one that we're gonna talk about and that has already happened is fall. So what you can expect in fall is shorter days. So as we experienced recently, like the time changed. First frosts appear. So when we looked at the weather this week, so we're expecting first snow in a few days. Um, Leaves in many parts of the country turn from green to red, yellow, and brown before they fall from the trees, which is a really pretty thing. If you've had the chance to experience that, I'm so happy for you because it's all over the country. If you go to parks, you can see the leaves and the trees in such a pretty color. Something to expect in the fall as well is rainy or dry weather. And I think that this year was pretty rainy compared to like previous years, but once again, like it can depend on from year to year. Actually, the following point, unpredictable time of year. So you can't really know what's going to happen. So it's a bit of like the main thing is to really check the weather. So for example, this year we had both rain and sunny days, and sometimes it was really cold and then really warm. So that's something to expect during the fall. So first snows in November, but sometimes they come earlier. Once again, it depends from year to year. And Manal and I checked the weather actually, and we're expecting the first snow this this Sunday actually. So that's pretty cool. So that's something to look forward to if that's if it's your first winter in Canada. And then you will need a fall coat, mittens, hat, and boots towards the end of autumn, which I think is right now. We've actually started winter, like we're in the beginning of winter now, actually. Now, the season that we're all looking forward to for this info session, winter. So the very first thing that you have to remember is to dress warmly. So to protect yourself from the cold, especially when you're outside, because most of buildings, if you come inside, most of them are heated. But if you're outside, make sure to wear the appropriate clothes. Um, and by warm clothes, we mean a winter coat, mittens, hats, boots on most days. So later on in this presentation, we're going to show you a few examples of what you can wear and how to buy them. Um, and then it will snow as early as late October and as late as April. So you can expect that period of snow. Um, and the next thing that you have to note about winter as well is that most temperatures are going to be below 0 degrees from December to mid-March. And during the night, especially, it's going to be really cold. Um, Something that I can remember from my first experience in winter here was that anytime there was a temperature above 0 degrees Celsius, I was super happy because it's quite rare. And then we're also going to talk about winds later on in this presentation, but wind is going to make the weather super cold, like so much more than what it shows. So make sure to check also, like sometimes you have the temperature, but then you have like the temperature with all the factors calculated in it. So you have to take care of that. Check the wind. And days will be shorter in winter as well. So that's what we're gonna look forward for the next few months at least. All right. So after the winter, the following season is spring. And the good thing is snow will begin to melt. And it will also rain during this season. So sometimes like during the spring, it's not necessarily gonna be hot yet, but the temperatures are gonna rise a little bit slower. And then the days will become longer and warmer. And still keep in mind that the nights will still be a little bit cold. So when you don't have the sun, it can get pretty cold. The good thing during spring as well is that the plants are gonna begin to grow. So the grass is gonna be a little bit greener. You're gonna start to see a few flowers here and there. So that's pretty cool. And then the trees will still be without any leaves until April or May. Um, and how to dress during the spring. So you will still need a warm coat and still pretty much everything you needed during the winter because it will still be a little bit cold. I'd say a good approximate would be around 10 degrees Celsius during the spring. But then again, it depends on the year. Um, so keep that in mind as well. Now, oops, sorry. Now, summer. So I'm a little bit biased. I think that summer is my favorite season here in Canada. But something to keep in mind is that temperatures will be quite hot. So it will be around 30 degrees or higher. And it's going to be really hot and dry. And the air is going to be quite humid. There might be thunderstorms. And something maybe a negative aspect of summer would be mosquitoes. Um, so make sure to be prepared for that. And then you also have the black fly season, especially during the last few weeks of summer. And unlike the other seasons during the summer, you can really dress as warmly as you want. So make sure to have clothes for the warm weather, and then you may still need a coat or a sweater for cooler days. So I would say especially during the evening for the summer time.
Okay, so this slide is going to be about what you need to know about winter in Canada. So the first real snow usually falls in November. Why do we call it real snow? Is because sometimes, like even now, if you wake up super early in the morning and you go outside, you may see a little bit of snow, like on the grass. That usually is just like a little bit of snow that gets melts afterwards. So that's why we don't call it like a first real snow. The first real snow though is the first snow that falls and stays on the ground. So yeah, that's usually in November. And if the 7-day forecast is correct, then we're probably gonna expect that this Sunday or Monday. And then the most snow falls usually in January or February. So yeah, that's when snow is gonna be so heavy. And how long does it last? It usually stays until the end of March or April. And then it's approximately like a 12-week snow coverage. And we usually have more snow than Moscow or Oslo. And so, yeah, we also have a link there for the Government of Canada website about how to prepare for winter weather. We're also going to send you the presentation later on, so you'll be able to click on all these hyperlinks. And also for the question in the chat about where to find, like how to find the temperature and the wind speed. Yes, it's usually like, we usually just use like the weather app. There's also something called the Weather Network. And I'm gonna be able to send the link for that too. And they usually put like the 7-day forecast and then like all the important information about the weather. So yeah. Yeah, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, for sure. So the next thing that we're going to talk about are your allies and your enemies during winter. So as I mentioned earlier, the wind is going to be one of your main enemies. Temperatures are going to get so much colder if there's the wind factor added to like the already cold temperature. And so that's something to always keep in mind when you're going out. So maybe you're going to see that the temperature is not as bad as it seems, but when you add the wind factor, sorry, it's going to be so much colder than what it actually is. And your ally would be the weather network. So every time, like I would say pretty much every day whenever you're going out, make sure to keep an eye on the weather and like see how the temperature is going to be and dress accordingly before going out, so that you're prepared for whatever is going to happen during the day pretty much. So yeah, make sure to check the weather network every day.
Okay, so I just checked actually the weather app right now. And for example, like you're gonna see the difference of the temperature that we're talking about. So right now it's 7 degrees. That's the normal temperature. But the temperature that we feel right now is 4 degrees. So it dropped from 7 to 4 degrees because of the wind. So right now we're gonna talk about how the wind actually affects the temperature. So sometimes if, for example, you have -5 degrees, and like the normal weather, if the wind is like 25 to 30 kilometers per hour, it's gonna change to -17. So you see like from -5 to -17, it's quite a lot. So yeah, that's how the wind affects. And then for example, if it's -15 degrees and wind factor is like 10 to 15 kilometers per hour, then it's gonna be around -20 degrees. So the actual temperature that we feel is like the -20, for example, is the one that we're gonna be feeling, even if it's -15. But yeah, that's just how the wind factor affects that. So that's why we always say like your the weather app is gonna be your best friend, just because you're gonna be checking it every single day, even if you didn't do that before. I've never done that in my home country, but once I came here, like every day I check the weather and then see like the whole day, because sometimes like the weather change in the same day. So yeah, please keep that in mind and always check and come prepared. Yeah, do you want to go ahead with the next slide? Cool.
Once again, I'm going to talk about your allies and enemies. And this one might be a bit unexpected. Just in a minute. So the enemy is going to be the sun, actually. So actually, it's something that I was quite surprised when I first came here, because I just thought that whenever there's going to be sun or whenever it's going to be a sunny day, I expected it to be like warm weather. It actually isn't. So do not trust the sun when you see the sun outside. Don't assume that it's going to be warmer. It's actually colder, and I think the reason why is because it's so the sky is so clear that there's nothing to sort of keep the temperature a bit warmer. So if you see a clear sky outside with the sun, think again. And once again, check your weather app to see how cold it actually is. So that's about the sun. And the ally is going to be the snow. So something that you're going to notice here is that when it's snowing, it's not as cold as you think it might be. So it's actually better to go. I'm not going to say that it's better to go out if it's snowing, but it's warmer outside when it's snowing. So that's something to also keep in mind.
The worst thing though is, for example, if there's snow and wind, then that's gonna be your worst enemy. So yeah, this is like actually one thing that happened to me before. Like before COVID, obviously, I had like an in-person class from 7 to 10 p.m. and it was like all the way in the south of the campus. And when I entered the class at 7, the weather was amazing. It wasn't bad. Like it was a little bit cold, but it wasn't bad. And then when I left the class at 10 p.m., there was a snowstorm, and because of the snow and the wind, like I wasn't able to see anything basically outside. But I was living on campus, so I was used to like the rest to get to my room. So yeah, like snow is your ally, but if you see snow and wind, then make sure to come really prepared for that. And now we're gonna actually talk about snowstorms. So snowstorms is basically just heavy snow buildup with strong winds. And then usually we see around 5 or 6 snowstorms during the winter. And then another thing is that for some reason usually in April, you can find like a surprise snowstorm. So you can find, for example, the temperature that's becoming becoming warmer and warmer, and then like out of nowhere there's like a surprise storm coming up. But yeah, just like that's why we always say like keep checking your app, because that's gonna be like you're really like a really good ally, because you're gonna be prepared. Even if you see, for example, that the weather is good, then you may see like a snowstorm coming afterwards. So yeah, just keep checking your app, please. And come prepared. Like please wear your clothes, the winter clothes that we're gonna talk about later on. But yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add that everything that Manal said is really highlighting the fact that the weather is so unpredictable. So not only day by day, but also month by month. So the fact, for example, that snowstorms can happen in April, like all of a sudden, even though it's already been a bit warm. So that's why the weather is really important to check. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the day after the snowstorm. So basically what happens. I really like these animations because it shows like the struggles of winter. So the very first thing that to keep in mind is to be prepared and to be careful. So whenever there's going to be snow outside, it's going to take a little bit longer to get to your destination because it's a bit tricky to walk in the snow. You also have to be careful because it can be a little bit slippery. Um, So something that I also noticed is that the worst thing to happen is when it's been snowing and then it was a little bit warm and then it freezes again. So like the snow that was melted freezes. That's really bad, and that's probably what happened to the person trying to shovel the snow up there. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind and to be prepared about. Another thing that might happen is that the buses might be late. So now the train is not working, but the train also has a few issues during the snow during the winter. So you also have to be prepared for that. And what's happening on the corner left, the bottom left illustration is the 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 snow remover. So that's the reason why there are sirens and trucks during the night, because they're removing the snow from the roads and the sidewalks. Uh, and you have to stay out of their way because they're not always gonna stop for you. So be careful of that.
Oh, also like one thing to keep in mind about the snow basically is that if you're living away from campus, please be prepared. Like check the weather actually like the night before, because sometimes like I can talk like from my own personal experience. I was living in Gatineau, and there was a snowstorm in at night, but then like in the morning afterwards I had to go to my exam, and there were like no buses out there. And then the other thing is that Ubers don't always go to Gatineau. Like you don't always find them in Gatineau. So I had to go all the way from my dorm to the campus like by foot. So like by walking. So keep that in mind. Like always check the weather before. So if I didn't wake up like ahead of time, I would have probably been late for my exam. And the thing is like being late for exams, because like especially if it's an in-person exam, because of the snow is not like, from what I know, they don't always take that into consideration, just because like everyone is pretty much used to winter here, so they know about the conditions, and they know that people keep that in mind. So yeah, always keep that in mind, whether you're living like not only in Gatineau but like anywhere, and if you have to go somewhere, just check the weather the night before to prepare and see when you should wake up, when you should go out, etc. And now we have, actually, this is one of my favorite videos about winter. It's don't worry, we're not scaring you. We're not here to scare you, but we just want to prepare you. So this is actually like a fun video about the people versus winter that you're gonna see.
They come down the hill. Looks like Ruben is in the lead, and here comes Al. That was a bad idea.
Okay, so that pretty much sums up what happens during the winter. So hopefully it never happens to you, but that's a bit hard to say because it's really common to see people falling in the streets. So be sure to make sure to be prepared and to be careful when you're walking out, especially when it's like slippery snow. So yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about the warmest routes on campus. So if you didn't know yet, we have like a few underground tunnels that are connecting buildings around campus so that you don't have to walk outside or in the snow if you have to get to a building to another. So this is from site. So you can basically go from site to Tabaret and with and stay completely inside without going out at all. So you can find this map on the maps.uottawa.ca. So keep this in mind if you ever have to go on campus and you have to go from one class to another. It's pretty handy to have this little route in mind.
Yeah, some of the channels, like I think I pretty much believe like the ones that are underground are the ones from Marion to site. And then the other ones are actually like in the buildings. You can see them like next to the buildings if you already went to campus. And I think we have a question. So Rodrigo, I can ask to unmute you and then you can ask your question.
Thank you. Hello, hello. I can't understand. Um, are there tunnels? For example, right? I know. If we're going from site, there is another building right to left. I think that's the engineering one. But can we go from that to the next one, like in a
So
bridge?
yeah, so for example, I think the building of engineering that you're talking about is Colonel Bay. So the ones like the underground tunnels that are actually like underground, they start from Marion, so they're connected from Marion Hall to STEM building, like all underground, and then like from STEM you go to Colonel Bay in like underground too, and then from Colonel Bay there's actually like a tunnel like in the first, fourth, and I think second floor too, like that go from Cullinan by to site, and you don't have to go outside for that. And then like the others, like from Marion to the other buildings, there are like tunnels like on top, like passages that you can see from outside. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna go to next slide. So now we're gonna talk about how to dress. So we've been talking like all the time, saying like prepare yourself, prepare yourself. So this is how you're gonna dress during the winter. So you're gonna need your boots, like warm pants, mittens, jacket, scarf, etc. And we also brought some of our own winter gears with us so that we can show you how to shop them and how like what you should take into consideration when you want to buy your winter gears. And we're gonna go ahead with the next slide.
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is winter boots. It's really important to have winter boots, really good ones to keep your feet cool, feet warm. Sorry, and there are a few different things to consider when you're buying your winter boots. Um, so the very first thing is that it's better if it's insulated, so either with fur or felt lined uh, protection. And something that's also really important is that the boots are waterproof for snow, for rain, if you're gonna walk in the snow. Then you're gonna also need thick rubber soles, and make sure that there's a grip for the shoes to avoid scenarios like the videos that we saw, people versus the winter. And also, if you're thinking about going on walks during winter in parks, you also have to make sure that they're comfortable for walking long distances. They will cost approximately from $70 to $300. It really depends on the ones that you choose, but there's a wide range of boots that you can choose from on the market. And we have a few examples of good brands. Oh, Manal brought hers, as you can see on the screen there. So you have Sorel, you have Kamik, Pajar, Merrell, and Boggs. So unfortunately, I didn't bring my boots today, but it's important to have boots for the winter.
I do have some boots to show. So these are like my own boots. So as you can see, I have the fur here, and usually like what I always like recommend to everyone is try to take boots that are long, like tall, not actually the short ones, because you're gonna be cold in your legs. So if you buy so like some like these, it's gonna be good. Also like waterproof and insulated in here. Like if you see on the back, like the grip here, like it's not just plate, because if it's plate, like you're gonna slip a lot. So that's why I really like those. I also have these over here. So these ones are like really thick. And the thing that I like about these is that they have an own, I don't know how I can show that. They kind of have like a thing insulated here. So it's like an actual thick like slippers or something like that. So it's really like insulated, and I never feel cold when I'm wearing those. So yeah, try to buy ones like these, and always check the grip, because that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I also wanted to add on to what Manal said about how long the boots should be. The longer they are, the warmer your feet are going to be, because you can put your pants under the boots, like inside the boots. So that really is going to block the wind from coming in. So that's really important as well. Okay, so we can go on to the next slide.
Actually, like one of the things that you can ask, like if you're shopping for like any winter gear, just ask the clerks there and be like, hey, like what is the temperature? What's the like the max temperature, like the minimum temperature that it can go to? So for example, when I asked about these ones, they told me that it can go up to minus 35 degrees, which is like really good. So yeah, because like there are many boots that you may see that they're like fit for winter, but they may actually just go like to minus 10 degrees or minus 15 degrees. So always like ask the associates or like the clerks and be like, hey, this is my first Canadian winter here. I don't know like how much temperature that this goes to, and they're gonna tell you exactly what it goes to. Yeah.
So the next thing that we also advise you to get is our long johns. So thermal, it's like a long underwear. It's a big onesie that's gonna keep you warm from head to toe. And it's gonna help you have fun in the snow for hours. So if you wear these, you're gonna need maybe a little bit less layers if you go out, but you'll still need a coat no matter what the weather. As you can see here, they can be stylish. Um, and they should be tight but not restrictive, because it's also meant for if you're gonna spend more time outside. So if you're going on walks, if you're going to do winter activities, they're a really good piece of clothing to have. They're usually made of either polyester blends, merino wool, or silk. And we would advise you to also look for a midweight or a heavyweight long johns. And they cost approximately $15 to $20, and maybe a bit more for merino wool or silk. So I don't know, Manal, if you have any experience with these, because personally I've never bought any of these, but I think they're a really good addition to a winter closet if you're really afraid of the cold.
Yeah, it really depends. Like for me, I'm a person who doesn't feel that cold at all. Like I usually go out like even when it's like minus 20 degrees with my jacket open. I don't feel cold that much, but yeah, I've never had the long johns before. However, for the tunics, gloves, and scarf, I do have them, and I even have some of them here with me. So you absolutely need these. And then when you want to buy a hat or two, make sure that the ears are covered, and that the material is soft and not itchy, because you're basically gonna wear it for a long time. And also like avoid any cotton or acrylic, because that's not gonna keep you warm. And the approximate price is between $10 and $30. I have one with me here that I bought from Eddie Bauer, and I really love it because this is how it looks from the outside. But from the inside, if you see here, there's a little bit of material. I don't know if you can see it, but the black thing over here, it keeps you insulated. So it's like it's a windproof and also like waterproof. So I really like it, and I never feel cold with it at all. Um, and so also Mia is showing hers. So that's like a really cool one. It's stylish. I love it. Yeah, it's they all have like the little thing here. But yeah, it's so cute. Yeah, and so for your fingers, we usually say that like mittens are better or like warmer than gloves, because like all of your finger are going to be together, so it keeps them warmer. And basically I try to get like a waterproof one, because like for all of the winter gears we try to buy like waterproof one, because basically snow turns to water, and it's going to make you cold if it's not waterproof. And the approximate price is also $10 to $30. And then here I have these with me. So yeah, they're like here, they're like waterproof, and it really keeps my hand warm. Like you can't believe like how warm it gets, but it's really good. I like it. And then a warm scarf is also essential, because it helps protect your skin from wind and basically like from irritation, or like if you have a sensitive skin, then you absolutely need it. But yeah, I have mine over here. I actually just bought this one, and it covers like the face and the head, or even the neck if you want to. And it's really warm, and it feels like so much comfortable. And yeah, I like it, and it's approximately like $10 to $30 too. So they're not that expensive, and they're really like essential to help protect you. And yeah, we're gonna go to the next slide.
Actually, I have a small comment about the gloves.
Mhm.
So me personally, I use gloves. Yes, they're less warmer than mittens, but the good thing about my gloves, at least, is that they have like the small touch screen thingy. So if I have to use my phone outside, I don't have to remove my gloves. So I find that really practical as well. So yeah, keep that in mind. They're a little bit less warmer, They're less warm than mittens, but they're a bit practical. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Ah, winter jackets and coats. So that's, if there's one thing that you absolutely need during winter, is a winter jacket. And you'll probably need it every day you're going out. So something that you need to consider is whether you want a puffy winter jacket, or like, like if it's real, or either it's real or synthetic. Once again, we really recommend waterproof winter jackets, or at least that they're water resistant, once again, because of the snow, eventual rain. So that's something really important. And then high or down count, so 500 to 700. And then the higher the percentage, down, the warmer the jacket. So as Manal explained earlier with the boots, there are different types of winter jackets. Some of them are for really like heavy duty winter coats for really cold weathers. Some of them are a little less heavy, a little less warm. And something also important is to have a hood to protect you from the snow when you're going out. And then something to check when you're buying your winter jacket is the rating. So how far below zero you can go. Once again, like the boots, some of them are for like -20, -30. Some of them are -20 to -10. So it really depends on the jacket and on what makes you comfortable. But we like always dress according to the weather. And then the length is also something to keep in mind. So there are like really short jackets, there are longer jackets, there are some jackets that cover you until like your thighs. So those ones are like really protecting like pretty much like the whole upper body and a little bit of your legs from the snow and the cold weather. And then also the fit. So if it's looser, you have more place for layers if you're more of a layer type of person, or if you want it to be like really tight, then you have less space for layers, but you have to make sure that it's thick enough to protect you from the cold. And then you also have the option of adjustable cuffs. So sometimes you have like the jackets that really seal in your hand so that no wind can come in, and those are really warm um, coats. So the cost will be approximately 150 to $600, depending on like the quality of the jacket, like how much it protects you from the cold. Um, but it's really important to have a really good winter jacket for winter to be fully prepared for that season. Actually, we brought our jackets. I can start with by showing you mine. So I went with the shorter one. I don't know how I'm gonna show this, but okay. So I have like a shorter one here, and as you can see, it's the puffed jacket, but it's also insulated from the inside. So I have the hood as well, and it's removable. So you'll find that most winter jackets have the hood removable. So if it's not snowing, you can eventually remove it and just go with a hat. But besides this one, I also have like the heavy duty winter jacket one that I use for winter activities or when I spend a lot more time outside. Um, Manal, you can go ahead and show them your jacket.
Like me personally, like I really, really, really love my jacket. It's like really practical. So this is gonna be like a surprise, but my jacket is actually like double layered. So it's actually removable. So I can remove the parts and then I can basically have it as like a jacket that I can wear like when it's just raining or like in the fall or like even in spring when it's just like warmer. And the like the inside of it, I can like attach them like during the winter and it becomes like really, really warm. So yeah, I can like right now it's attached. Um, but yeah, basically I can remove it and that's it. Like this is like the outer jacket. And even like the outer jacket of it, it's isothermic and it adapts as the temperature. So if it's cold, the jacket becomes warm. And if it's warm, like the jacket adjusts and doesn't become like even warmer for me. So it stays like cool for like the nice temperature. And actually, like one of the things that I will tell you is this one, like even if you see that it's like really cool and it's like double layered and removable and stuff like that, I bought it for just $250. Which is like a really good deal, and it's from a great brand. It's also like from Eddie Bauer. That thing is because I actually got discounts on it. So one of the things that I'll tell you is once you want to shop for like basically like anything in clothing, ask if they do student discounts. Because like for example, this Eddie Bauer, like I got 60% off on it, and it's just like because I have they were like, hey, do you want to create an account? And I was like, okay, sure. And they're like, okay, here's your discount. Here's the actual discount that was on the store. So it was like 40% and then 10% for the discount of the membership. And then on top of that, 15% off for the student discount. So I bought it at a really cheap price. And yeah, just like your student, use that for yourself. And yeah, they were actually like doing like Eddie Bauer always does the a deal of like having it like a guarantee, like a warranty for a year. So if something happens to the jacket, you can literally like bring it back and they'll give you like a new one for free. So yeah, just like many of the brands actually do discounts for students. So always keep that in mind. We're students, we need the money. So yeah, it's they were really good deals. And yeah, as Camilla said, the Black Friday is coming up. So yeah, it's you're gonna have more deals coming up in a lot of the stores. So check that too. Yeah. So Mia, do you want to go ahead?
For sure. So yeah, so besides all of the clothing and everything that you have to buy, you also have to stay healthy in winter. It's not always an easy season to go through, but you have to always keep healthy and stay healthy during the season. So we have a few tips on how to be healthy. So one thing that might happen during winter is seasonal affective disorder, also can be called SAD. um, but SAD is also known as winter blues, and it begins in the fall. And it's usually caused by the lack of sunlight during the fall and winter months. So there's going to be a lot less sun. The days are shorter, so you'll have a lot less light. And how to recognize what ACG looks like. So the very first thing that you're going to notice is you might be feeling sad. So for example, you're bored or you're more irritable than usual. Um, Another thing that I am guilty of is needing more sleep during those shorter days. So you're going to feel tired, and you're going to feel like you don't have much energy. Something that might happen as well is you want to eat more, so you'll have cravings for carbs, like bread, pasta, sweets, and which can cause weight gain. And you may also want to avoid social situations, so you're going to lose interest or pleasure in activities that you usually enjoy doing.
So now we're going to talk about the ways to cope with SAD. So you may want to go like on a diet. We're not talking about like actual diets. It's just like to keep like vitamin. So you're gonna need vitamin D because basically because of the lack of the sun, you're not gonna get like the natural vitamin D. So you're gonna need to eat, for example, like salmon or like egg yolks. They're really like filled with vitamin D. Also, you're gonna need omega-3. So you're gonna find that in sardines or like flaxseed or canola oil. And you're gonna need some carbs like lentils or popcorn or pretzel. Exercise, we usually say that you can exercise like regularly, like 2 hours and a half per week, or like you can go outside to get some natural light. Also, there's a thing called light therapy, and it gives the brain like the lights that it needs during the winter. And you can sit like for like 15 to 30 minutes and you can get like all the lights that you need. And then you can find these like in Amazon for like less than $30. Or there's actually like an actual light therapy room in UCU, if I remember, in the wellness lounge in the university center. And then you can book that room, and then you can just like go there and study there while having like all the light for yourself. Also, if you're a student living in residence, or if you're going to live in residence, there's a wellness lounge in the residence in 9EU, and they also have light therapy rooms in there. So you can enjoy that too if you find that the study room in UCU is filled, or if you don't want to go outside and just want to stay in the residence. So that's an option too. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead with the next slide.
Fun fact. So sometimes during the winter, you're gonna see people running outside even if it's snowing. So it really depends on your willingness to go outside and exercise. So just a little fun thing that I found here, because personally, when I see the snow outside, I don't really want to go out. Okay, so another thing that winter brings is frostbite. So it's usually like how to recognize the frostbite is when you have a feeling of tingling and numbness in your fingers and toes, and there's like some sort of burning sensation in your nose and ears. So that happens because of the cold weather, and your blood circulation slows down to protect your other organs, and you're gonna lose sensitivity because your blood is not flowing as usual in those areas. So as we said earlier, it's mostly your fingers and toes. But as soon as you go back inside, the blood starts flowing normally again, and it's gonna cause the redness. So that's why we said that it's important to have mittens and boots. But even then, like sometimes it can still happen depending on like what type of gloves and boots you're wearing, but it's nothing to really worry about. Just keep that in mind and then come back in warm buildings if you really feel that cold.
Like, that's a fun fact. Like when Mia was talking about like the I like exercise outside, I remember like every year on campus, like when everyone had like in-person classes, and I believe like even this winter, if you're on campus, you're gonna find people like instead of using the public transportation, they actually skate to get to campus. So like if I don't know if you're in Ottawa or if you know about the Rideau Canal. So Rideau Canal, like we're gonna talk about that later on, but Rideau Canal basically like freezes in winter and like for a month or two. And then in that period, like people just like skate in the canal to get to campus. You're gonna find them with their skating, like with their skaters like in their bag or like next to their bag, and they're like, hey, yeah, okay, we came quickly. So yeah, that's a fun thing that I just remembered, and I can't wait to see that in winter. I don't skate, but I love seeing people skate to get to campus. It's really practical. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the tips and tricks about winter. So yeah, as we said that like multiple times, but dress for the activity. So find the right combination of layered clothing that suits you. So for example, if you didn't shop yet for your winter gears, you can like you can try and bring like some of the clothes with you when you want to go shopping and try them on with, for example, the jacket or like with the boots, etc. And then you can see if you're like comfortable with that size or if you need like another size for that. Also like check the weather forecast before heading out, because as I said, like sometimes like the weather changes literally in hours. So yeah, check that before, and then always carry tissues and lip balm. Actually, like a fun fact, if you're around campus in the health center and the university center in the second floor, I believe, they offer like free lip balm and stress balls. So you can get a lip balm from there, like for free. And also don't forget to moisturize your skin and drink a lot of water to keep yourself hydrated, because like also you may find that the heat in buildings and also like if in your home, like it gets like with the heat on, the weather gets like so dry, so you need to keep yourself hydrated. And then yeah, if the air is like too dry, you can buy a humidifier. I actually like just bought a humidifier and I feel like better. I feel like I'm breathing air, so that's good. But yeah, this is just like the tips that can help you during winter. And yeah, for the recording of the information session, we're actually gonna send you an email afterwards when the recording is ready, and you're probably gonna find it in our YouTube channel as well, in U Ottawa International. Yeah, Mia, do you want to go ahead with the next slide?
Now we're gonna talk about the fun things, the fun side of winter. So I really love this little GIF that is here. So yes, we talked about a lot of important things, but it's also important to remember to have fun during the winter. Also because there are a lot of activities that you can do. Okay, I can go ahead with this slide as well. So the very first thing is the activities that Ottawa prepares for you, for us students. So we're gonna shoot this really quick video to give a small example of what you can do during winter.
L'hiver, il fait froid au Canada, mais c'est pas une raison de rester à l'intérieur. You can go skating on the Rideau Canal, visit Winterlude, and even enjoy a free beaver tail on the campus. Despite the cold weather, there are lots of great things to do in Ottawa during the winter. Nous sommes allés patiner sur le canal Rideau, au bal des neiges, et même profiter d'une queue de castor gratuite devant Tabaret. Come see a few activities that we enjoyed doing this winter.
Yeah, so basically like, this was just a sneak peek of what happened during winter. So I saw like a lot of you guys are excited. I also get excited when I see that video because actually like winter is my favorite season. So like basically like in May and when the spring comes, I'm like, I miss winter. And they're like, winter was like for 6 months, like it's just like went up and I'm like, I want winter back. Yeah, so it's really cool. Like there are lots of fun activities that only happen during winter, so please enjoy them. So like skating, so for skating, if you don't know how to skate and you want to learn to skate, they actually offer classes and on campus in Minto complex. I don't know if they're for free or not, but they do offer like some skating lessons, so you can try to learn and use that afterwards to skate in Rideau Canal. And okay, so you already checked that. that's nice. Okay, That's amazing. Good to know. Okay, and also basically during the winter you're gonna find like some free skating spaces, like for like what I remember, one next to City Hall. So it's like right next to the campus. It's like 2 minutes away from campus, if I believe. But also there's like the largest skating rink in the whole world, which is the Rideau Canal. So you can skate in that as well. But however, like the Rideau Canal skating rink, like only opens for like a month or two. So you're gonna find out like all over the news. Don't worry, you're gonna get the news that it's open. And yeah, there's also like downhill skiing. So there are places in Gatineau, like the Gatineau Park, and like many like Mont Tremblant or like any other places like right next to us. So like in Gatineau, and where you can do skiing or sliding or even snowshoeing. So I tried snowshoeing before, and it's really amazing. They give you like this like snowshoes that help you stay on top of the snow, and then you basically do hiking in there, and it's amazing. And yeah, there's like in Ottawa and Gatineau Park, there are like many public spaces where you can do activities, and you can also like rent or buy used equipment to try these new activities as well. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the festivals happening in Ottawa, but also like across Canada. One very famous thing that's happening is the Christmas lights across Canada. So basically between December 8th and January 7th, 2022, there's gonna be a lot of Christmas bulbs. It's really beautiful at night. So it's gonna happen here in Ottawa. So yeah, we have like the website on which you can find like more information about it in the presentation that we're gonna send you as well. And another fun thing to see, and that they showed during the video of U Ottawa earlier, is the winterlude. So you can celebrate the joys of winter with during 3 weeks. So it's gonna be from February 4th to February 21st, 2022. And you're gonna have like winter activities across Ottawa and Gatineau, and it's gonna happen every year. So there's gonna be like ice sculptures around the city, so it's really pretty and it's a really fun thing to see. So yeah, once again, you'll find the link for the information about the event on the presentation. Oh, so that concludes our presentation today. Thank you very much for being here, and we really hope that we helped you. If you have any question at all, like do not hesitate to contact us, or actually we still have time now. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand, send us a chat. We'll be more than happy to answer you.
And really like don't be afraid of winter, because like I remember when I first came to Canada, I was like super stoked about winter, and then people were like, no, you're gonna hate it, you're gonna hate winter, just wait, and you're gonna hate winter. And then like when actually like winter came, and like in like even in May, I was like, what are you talking about? I love winter. So it's like it really depends on the person, and also like really depends on the effort that you're putting into like in yourself, like in during this season. Because there are some people who actually like it's like hibernating during winter. So they don't go out, they don't do anything, they just stay in their room. Of course they're gonna hate winter. But there are like lots of things that you can do. You can have fun. So for example, like for me, I came from like my city, in my home country, we've never actually had snow. So it was like really amazing. One anecdote that I have is like on the first day of snow, like the first snow day that we had, it was like in 2018. It was at night when I saw snow falling. Because I was so excited, I actually, because like I was living in residence in the university, I went out with my pajamas and flip-flops on campus, like running and like looking at the snow. It was like everyone was looking at me pretty weird, like, what is she doing? And I almost slipped because of the flip flops. Yeah, don't do that. Don't go out with flip flops during winter. But yeah, I was like super happy, and I've done like many activities during winter, and I really love it, and I'm so excited for snow to fall. So yeah, really like, don't worry about it. Just make some efforts, and then um, keep like everything in check. So um, uh, like prepare for yourself with the good gear, and also like you can find like a lot of events that happens during winter. You can find them in also like social media accounts. So one of the tips that I would say is like, you can follow UO Campus and UO Ottawa in Instagram and Facebook, and you can also like follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We put lots of events in there, so you can know in advance like what are the events that are happening, and you can find like links to register, etc. And then also you're gonna receive some emails about it. So yeah, just check, and uh, we're happy to help you if you have like any questions, or if you don't know what to do in winter, or if you have like, basically like anything.
Yeah, I also like Manal, like my first winter, like proper winter experience was here. So back home in Madagascar, we don't have winter like either. So it's always like, personally, I really apprehended winter. Like I really thought that I wasn't going to like it at all. But the thought that crossed my mind as soon as it was over was like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Especially if you're doing things. So like Manal said, there are a lot of activities, so make sure to check them out. Um, and it's also like a small tradition of mine and my roommate to go out during the first snow. So it's a really fun thing. Like we know that the very first snow, even though it's not the real snow, the very first snowfall, like we always go out and just play around in the snow. So it's a really fun thing. You're gonna have like really fun experiences during the winter. So yeah, keep in mind the different events that are going to happen in Ottawa, or across Canada if you're planning on like visiting other cities. There are a lot of activities as well. And yeah, remember to have fun. Okay, do we have any questions? If you have any questions, please, you can raise your hand. You can type them in the chat.
Yeah, for bikes, like I remember one of the winter activities, they were actually like brought like some heavy duty bicycles. They were like the bikes were like so huge, and they were like, yeah, okay, you can bike in snow. And I was like, okay, I'm afraid I'm gonna fall. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I don't know if people actually like use that to buy like in the city. I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't actually recommend like cycling on the city in snow at all. Um, but yeah, just because like especially if there's ice, you may fall. And yeah, just when you want to go out, like especially if you're living in a house, try to just put 1 feet, like 1 foot outside and see if it's slippery or not. Because in my second year, when I was living in a house, and basically we were the one like doing the shoveling and all. And the first day, like it wasn't even snowing. Like first snow wasn't even there. It's just like uh, it was the temperature was so cold that it freezes and it became like ice outside. And I didn't see that because actually like ice is like pretty transparent. So I didn't see that and I slipped. So yeah, ever since then, whenever I want to go out, I always put like warm water, like I put warm water like all over the floor to go out first. But yeah, just keep that in mind, and check where you put your feet, just to avoid slipping on ice. But yeah. Apart from that, do you have like any questions? Anything?
I have a small comment. So like Manal and I are mentors at the international office. So if you ever have any doubts or any question, or if you just want to come and meet us, we're working in person. But you can also like book a meeting with us on MS Bookings if you want to talk a little bit more, whether it's about winter, about how to get ready for that winter a little bit more. We also have a few fun anecdotes about winter, as you can hear from us. So yeah, always we'll always be happy to welcome you. And yeah, do not hesitate to contact us if you have any question.
No problem. And I guess we're just gonna wait like for 2 minutes if you guys have any questions. And then after that, we're gonna save the recording and close the meeting. But yeah, it was nice to see you guys. It was like amazing to see you like answering in the chat and everything. So yeah, and I hope your first winter is gonna go well. I believe that like especially the first winter is the one that decides if you're gonna love or hate winter. But yeah, yeah, just try to have fun, but also like try to stay warm. But yeah. Okay, so I would I would say that